Discussion and possible action regarding cancellation of fire hydrant inspection agreements with Carefree Water Company and Cave Creek Utility Department, Town of Cave Creek. Mr. Neese.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. In March 2003, the Town of Carefree entered into two separate contracts to inspect the fire hydrants. The first one was with the Cave Creek Water Company, which was under private ownership of, at that time, J. George was the respective owner. The other water company is obviously the Carefree Water Company. These agreements contain an automatic self-renewing of a term of 2 years unless there was a 90-day cancellation notice in writing to the respective party. Presently, we're approaching this threshold. In today's contracting economy, one of the things that we all have been doing is evaluating the respective organization. That's being done at all levels of government, and we've made a number of cuts, but we're looking at the service that that respective entity provides versus the respective costs, and in that spirit we evaluated these respective contracts to see if there was another way of doing it while saving money. What we found out is there was another way of doing it, and that was through Rural Metro. Rural Metro would provide the inspection services through our master contract that we have with them. That will allow Rural Metro to become better familiar with the idiosyncrasies throughout the community, such as constricted access and grades of streets, better familiarize themselves with the respective locations of the fire hydrants. Obviously, time is of an essence when you're responding to emergency, and knowing where those fire hydrants are critical. So better familiarize Rural Metro with those respective locations. And then understand the location of ones that are not functioning properly. Obviously, they have a vested interest in ensuring that they're functioning properly. So responding to that and communicating with the respective utility department is critical. And then improving the exposure of rural personnel to the community. In return, this frees up time for the respective water company personnel so that they can maintain their infrastructure and thus service their constituents more effectively. Rural Metro will coordinate with the respective utilities, the Cave Creek Utility Department and the Carefree Water Company, on these inspections. They will take place as typical in the desert Southwest during the off-peak times. That's typically during the winter and spring when water demand is at its lowest, so it doesn't adversely impact the water distribution system. We pay at the current time $10 per hydrant per month. We have budgeted $50,000 for the fire hydrant inspections. This would be no additional cost to the town, so we would save significantly on this approach. It needs to be noted that the contract year runs until March 4th, and then the contract, if we decide to cancel tonight, would be canceled at that time. So we would pay up through March 4th. Thereby, the respective water entity would be responsible for the final inspection for this year, and then Rural Metro will assume the responsibility in subsequent years. I have met with both the Carefree Water Company and town manager in Cave Creek and discussed this with them, and as far as the communication, they're all on board with this approach, and they agree that it probably will save them time and money, and the reports will go to the respective water companies so that they can maintain their asset, those respective fire hydrants. So it saves them some additional money as well too. So tonight what we're asking for is the approval of the cancellation of the fire hydrant inspection agreements with the Cave Creek Utility Department or the Town of Cave Creek and the Carefree Water Company. I'm glad to address any questions that the council might have of me at this time.
All right, any questions or comments from the council?
The only thing I would say, Gary, is there doesn't seem to be any downside. It's all upside. Cost getting our firemen in the communities and the different developments and areas of the town. We have better control of their inspections and maintenance.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's in line with the other cuts that we have made. Once again, we're looking at not adversely impacting the services to our citizens and cutting costs. And I think this falls within that same spirit. So yes, I think it all has upside to it.
Other questions, comments? I have no slips to speak from the public. Chief Kratz, do you have any comments, or are you content?
I'm good.
Everybody's on board with this? Stan is on board with this?
Stan's on board with it, met with officials from Cape Creek, and they did not express any reservations in association with this, and obviously have met with the chief in Rural Metro, and they're on board with this.
And we'll adjust Stan's budget accordingly, or he will?
Yes, the caveat being is one of the things that we could do with this savings is also provide additional fire hydrants in more mature areas of Carefree. And I met with Stan about a subsequent contract with him to do such at a nominal rate to provide additional 3 or 4 fire hydrants a year in those mature areas of Carefree that do not have access to fire hydrants, nor will they through development. Typically, and let me take a step back, we get fire hydrants installed through the development process, through the subdivision ordinance. And so when a subdivision comes in front of you, through the preliminary plat and final plat, within the final plat are infrastructure improvement plans, and part of that is the water distribution system that's servicing that. All that infrastructure is dedicated to the respective utility department or water company, and that's done with the new development. In the more mature areas that in some instances predate the town, we don't have that advantage because it's all subdivided already. Therefore, we're responsible in installing those fire hydrants, and that's what we'll incrementally do over time.
Other questions or comments? Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve item 2, allowing our town administrator to cancel the fire hydrant inspection agreements with the town of Cape Creek
And Carefree.
and Carefree
Water Department.
Water Department.
Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the notice of cancellation with the fire hydrant inspection contracts. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously.